say a word to the bottom. They painted at churches and neighborhoods, cemetery cleaned up, painted fences. So any word of thanks from his man.
You know, I'm so grateful for your support. Every Saturday that you come to this city is a blessing.
Starting over all alone and it's a vibe, yeah. I always know the right place, right time, yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is David Chen, your host at Winning Lifestyle Podcasts. Today's a very special episode because over the past 2 weeks, I've been rethinking my motto and what I really aim for this podcast. And it is 3 things. It is to become the best version of ourselves, to give back by helping others in need, and number 3, to always do things the right way. And for that second part, I have 2 very special guests here, Todd and Sarah. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves a little bit?
Sure. Would you go first, please?
Sure. So I'm Sarah. I am currently Director of Social Transformation for Vintage Church LA in Santa Monica. I moved to LA about a year ago after living overseas for the last 9 years in Austria and the UK, doing a wide variety of work that we can talk about. But and my husband is Sam. So there we are.
And my name is Todd Boquet. I am the director for the Compton Initiative in Bright Lights of Compton in the city of Compton. And I've been here in California, moved from South Louisiana in 2021. And since I've been here just volunteering and doing community service work and now fully involved in this ministry.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's the main reason why I really wanted you guys on this podcast, because the first 2 podcasts that I've had, they were great. They were about, becoming the best version of ourselves, like either through sports, through baseball, or whatever you're passionate about. But another really big thing about the winning lifestyle that I believe is giving back. And that's what these 2 really tremendous humans have been doing with the Compton Initiative. So then, can you tell me a little bit about this Compton Initiative?
Yeah, definitely. So the Compton Initiative was founded in 2006 by Pastor Ken Corver. He's the pastor of Emmanuel Reformed Church in the city of Paramount. Mm-hmm. And in 2006, they decided to make a 40-year commitment to the city of Compton to clean and beautify the city. Mm-hmm. So for around 19 years now, the Compton Initiative has been established. We've painted every school in Compton at least twice. I think there's like 46 schools. Each one has been painted at least twice. Painted a few hundred murals, over 800 grandma and grandpa homes, single mother homes, different residence homes. Painted school buildings, churches, painted numerous churches, just always doing some good work. But the main theme is to clean and beautify, and that's what's done on the surface. But it gives organizations like Vintage Church or other church organizations an opportunity to come out, to volunteer, to get involved in the unity, community, and family that we're creating right there in the city of Compton.
That's beautiful. And I know, because I go to Vintage Church too, I heard a little bit about what Sarah's been doing, and that just really motivated me to give back, because in a lot of ways I feel like I've got some things figured out for myself, but there's so much more to life than just yourself. And you can at times be insatiable, because you feel like you've already done so much, but you still feel like you have something else that needs to be filled. And so then, Sarah, do you mind telling me a little bit about that too?
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. And I think it's amazing that organizations like the Compton Initiative exist and set everything up for people who feel that need to fill a gap, to actually do something to love their neighbors in a more proactive way than they normally are. Everything's organized, and we sign up, we get the volunteers, and then we show up, and Todd and the organization run everything else. But we get this opportunity to go outside of our bubble, maybe get a little uncomfortable, see a neighborhood we might not normally go through, and love people, and do this work that really should be done. It should be covered by other maybe governments and things like that, but it's not. It's an under-resourced area, and it takes a village to love a village. So that's part of why we come together with the Compton. We love the partnership, and it's been going for years and years. But I think you guys are you said longest running organization doing something like that in your area.
Yeah, so there's not been another organization in the city of Compton that has consistently shown up with as much resources as long as the Compton Initiative has. So for 19 years, minimum 4 times a year, which now we do it every month. But for many years, it was just 4 times a year we would show up and work. And on some work days, we've seen a couple of thousand volunteers. This is prior to COVID. And volunteer numbers were higher. Since COVID, on a really good work day, we might see 300 to 400 volunteers, which is still a lot of people,
Right.
and we can get a lot of work done. But there's not been another organization in the city of Compton that has shown up consistently, has been dedicated and really committed to doing good in the city.
Yeah. And in addition to infrastructure, I know that, Sarah, you were talking about in the foster homes. And I'm not sure the exact statistics, but about 50% of the children that grow up in foster care, they end up homeless. And I know living in LA, a lot of people complain about the homelessness. A lot of people want to do something. And I feel like this is the right way to help them, because with the tutoring that you were mentioning, you can offer a lot of guidance for a lot of kids that don't have parents that would otherwise help them get straight with school, and open up a lot of educational opportunities. So like I went to Compton Initiative last week, I think. We were able to paint and such, and that's great too. And I really want to get involved in this tutoring thing. So do you mind speaking on that?
Well, I would just say, yeah, I think you've raised a good point that, there are so many gaps in society. There's so many needs that need to be filled by different people with different skill sets, different organizations who are specialized in certain areas. And I think Compton is great because it recognizes sometimes it's easier to just work a line in a soup kitchen or put a Band-Aid on a wound, but actually you need to start with bringing back dignity to a community, bringing back beauty and showing people that they're loved. And actually that raises up the opportunities for people to grow their businesses in that area, to grow their families in a healthy environment. And that's where, health starts for a community and where health starts for a family. And what we're doing and trying to get more involved in the foster care system and in other kind of root causes where a lot of pain starts and leads to homelessness, addiction, offending and reoffending. It is broken families and broken communities. So I think we have opportunities in tutoring and education with some of these kids who are in really rough family situations or just less resourced communities and neighborhoods. We have opportunities to love those families through foster care, through tutoring, through beautification projects, home repairs. And that's where churches like Vintage Church and other churches in our area are looking at what are those gaps? What's the immediate response we can do with charity kind of support, but also what are the root causes and how can we get involved in holistic relational ways?
I love that. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of like the third part of my motto, like always doing things the right way, because I feel like Compton Initiative has it like outlined to do things the right way. Like when we help other people, when we really want to help them, it could be difficult, and that kind of relates to becoming the best version of yourself too. Like whether it be sports, you can't cheat yourself. You got to do things the right way. And similar to helping others, like Compton Initiative, it's so well developed. I feel like that, you guys had 300 volunteers.
Yeah.
All of them can make a huge difference for these kids and these communities. So then that being said, where do you see your vision of the Compton Initiative in the next year?
Yeah, so to answer that question and to build off of what we were just talking about, to always be doing the right thing, and even after 19 years as well established and organized as the Compton Initiative is and has been, sometimes you look at the results, and what we realize is that even though we've done a lot of good, the Compton Initiative has done a lot of good with a lot of volunteers over the years. But it hasn't been transformative. And these were the words of my pastor and the president, Pastor Ken. And when I first heard him talk about it, he said, well, we haven't been transformative, meaning, we haven't really sparked a movement. We've done a lot of good, but we haven't really, enabled the community. We haven't seen a rise up in the community of more residents that are taking ownership and wanting to be a part of it. So with that, we say, well, hey, what could we possibly be doing better, or where we may be going wrong here, So just stepping back and looking at it, that's where Bright Lights of Compton developed, and that's why we do it monthly now.
Yeah.
So with our monthly events, we're more geared towards really building real community,
Okay.
and really establishing some unity. So rather than a hand down of services, which can
Hmm.
sometimes become a toxic charity,
Yeah.
even with really good intentions, and doing good, but you don't realize that sometimes it can be maybe a little more harmful because it become enabling.
Hmm.
So rather than that model of a hand down of service, we're saying, hey, what can we do as a hand in hand service?
Okay.
What can we do with you rather than for you? So I've been keeping my ears to the streets. I'm out engaging with residents. I'm listening to the city leaders. I'm trying to engage with the students in the city of Compton and say, what is your vision for the future of Compton? What are some things that you would like to see happen? What are some murals that you would like to see painted on the sides of your businesses? What are some things that you would like to see in your local community? And some of the things are outside of the Compton initiatives,
Hmm.
normal work that we would normally do, but we're okay with that. We're okay with making those adjustments, just to have a greater impact and to make sure that we're having as positive an impact and a sustainable impact as possible.
Yeah. I like that because, the job's not done yet. And like you said, we're not at that transformative level yet. Is there any signs that would point that you're almost there? I know like it's good to like keep on going, go to the next goal, but how could we tell that we're at that goal?
Yeah, so right now we have, like I said, Bright Lights of Compton, which is Block. And so anyone who
Hmm.
lives, works, or serves in the city of Compton, they can go to our website and sign up for Block. So
Wow.
they can sign up. So one way to measure that is we see how many residents have signed up as opposed to how many outside organizations or outside volunteers have signed up, because we have a record of that too. But now we're seeing how many residents are actually signing up. Then on the workday for the sign-in sheet, we see how many are actually showing up.
Right.
And then from there, we try to analyze, what can we do to improve? How can we make it more welcoming? How can we engage more? We do a lot of social media posts. We do put information out on our website, but also anyone who signs up, because obviously they have to sign up with their email. They receive email notifications and updates,
Right.
and then also with that, I attend a lot of meetings, town hall meetings, community meetings, block club meetings, just getting
Yeah.
the word out there, sharing the information, and teaching people about the value in what we're doing, because some people just see it as, you're that church that comes and paint houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, what we do that, and
Hmm.
it is really awesome. But there's so much more on a deeper level than that.
Hmm.
So it's being able to expose that what we're really doing on a deeper level, getting our other leaders to really see the value in that as well and rally behind us.
Right.
And then when we start to see multi-level collaborations, I really think that's what I'm looking for in the next year and ongoing. And that's
Hmm.
really what's going to show me the level of success that we're having with it, is when we see other organizations from Compton, other
Yeah.
leaders reaching out to us and seeing, hey, how can we partner with you to get this project done in our community?
Yeah.
That's a win for us, rather than us reaching out and saying, hey, what can we do to help you? It's organizations or churches or whoever it may be reaching out to saying, hey, how can we join what you're doing to have an impact here?
Right. I really like that because, when I went to Compton Initiative, when we were painting the houses, I was thinking like, I don't want it to be something where it's like a charity case. And a lot of people don't like that. Like that, since I'm not from Compton, I want to help out, but I want to make sure it's the right way and getting them involved. Like, what do they need? And I got to meet a lot of people, and I'm hoping to meet more people so then we know exactly what they want, not what we think they want,
Yeah.
getting some input from them. And I think with the tutoring, I can really get to know some of them too. So I'm really interested in doing that, getting to know the kids individually. Like each kid might have their own endeavors and whatever profession that fits them best. I'm hoping that I can probably provide some guidance for those who don't have as much. Yeah, that's tremendous. So then on to the next topic. Do you have any favorite quotes or Bible verses?
I gotta look mine up.
Yeah, so for me, one that's always resonated with me since I was a child was from Maya Angelou.
Hmm.
In life we will experience many defeats, but we must never be defeated.
Okay.
And I feel like that's something that I apply to everything that I do, especially in this ministry with the Compton Initiative. I think, but those words stand the test of time. They hold true today, and I believe they always will. Um, that we will experience defeats. That there will be losses. But just having that mindset and that attitude,
Hmm.
like I'm not completely defeated. I've
Right.
experienced a defeat, but I'm not completely defeated. And
Yeah.
it gives you the wherewithal and the intestinal fortitude to get back up and try again. And learn from that defeat. Or whatever it may be, a setback. Anything. But yeah. So that's one that's just always resonated with me. And I think is really at the core of who I am and what I believe and why I do what I do.
Yeah. And I think speaking on that quote, you told me your story a little bit last time. Did you want to speak on that, or it's up to you? It's
Yeah,
uh,
sure. I don't mind sharing more about that.
okay.
Whenever you guys answer.
Yeah, if you feel comfortable, we could always edit that out.
No,
But
absolutely.
okay.
Part of life experiences and those defeats is being able to share.
Right.
And not only sharing strength with others from a testimony perspective, but I always leave feeling like I've gained more strength just by sharing strength.
Hmm.
Funny how it works that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's life. Um, well, I have a similar. I had a whole list of quotes, but
Hmm.
obviously, I'll just choose maybe two that always stand out to me, and one of them is perfectly in line with kind of what you brought up, Todd. Just that the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And that's an MLK quote, Martin Luther King. And I just think it's so true. It's something I grew up, I don't know, it kind of resonated with me as a kid when I realized I was in a state that would have fought for slavery. I was in a state where it would have been the culture and the norm to accept that as this is the status quo. There's nothing to challenge. This isn't, a crazy idea.
Hmm.
Um, and I always wondered as a child, what side of history would I have stood on? Would
Right.
I have gone against the current? Would I have challenged that, or would I have just accepted and not questioned? And I like to believe I would have challenged it, but I, growing up, have realized how easy it is. That people are not good and evil. People are not. It's not black and white. A
Yeah.
lot of life is gray, and we make choices. And I think in that moment, as a kid, I kind of made a decision. Like, I need to make intentional choices about where I'm going to stand in those moments of conflict and controversy, and make intentional choices about what am I going to be studying, what am I going to choose as a career, and make
Hmm.
sure that I'm positioning myself on the right side of history, on the side that is loving neighbors, that is
Yeah.
choosing good. And so I found that always a very inspirational quote, and one that I try to live by, of like reminding myself in those moments of what am I choosing now.
Yeah.
It's a good kind of grounder in the middle
Yeah.
there.
And like you said, like I know as Christians we think like everybody's a born sinner,
Mm.
and I think everybody has good to them because like we all have a conscience. So in our heads we've got to be good people, and then like being able to kind of look objectively is very important, and kind of in the moment, and doing the right thing too, like and like really analyzing, is this the right thing to do? And because for me, I've been through some struggles too, where I had a business that failed, and sometimes that's expected to happen, but I might not have done things the right way, treated people the right way, because in that moment I was just so enveloped in it, and that's why I think that's one of the three things in my winning lifestyle, because had I done things the right way, while the business still would have failed, I would have at least like preserved a lot more relationships, and making sure that if things were done the right way, I can learn from them. Because a lot of times we all mess up, and the only way to get better, and be the best version of yourself, is to take those and improve upon them, because a lot of times we don't really want to own up to things, or we'll try to get away with things, but that's just not the right way to do it. And I feel like I've I've learned a lot in the past 2 years, and meeting new people that kind of have the same ideals as me. So in time, I might even change my motto, but for now, I think that kind of is a good one.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And Todd, you said you're from Louisiana?
Yeah, so originally born and raised in South Louisiana, a little
Hmm.
town called Chauvin, Louisiana, which is in Terrebonne Parish,
Hmm.
about an hour and a half southwest of New Orleans.
Oh,
So it's so far down south that you basically drive a car as far as you could drive, and then get out and hop in a boat and ride some more. That's pretty much where I'm from. So yeah, huge cultural differences, demographic differences from where I came from.
hmm.
But one thing that's not different is the word of God. And just like I had the word of God there, I have the word of God here, the same instructions, the same commandments. And you find Christian brothers and sisters that have
Yeah.
the same sentiments everywhere, that we're all one body and, spread out all over the world, but one body. So I'm so grateful for the welcome that I did receive here from, my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah. Well, we're very happy to have you. And so then with the people here, I'm not originally from LA either. I was wondering for people that aren't from Compton either, how can they get involved? You were saying the block was mainly for the people in Compton. How about for like the other people?
Yeah, so like Miss Sarah Chase and Vintage Church, anyone can go to our website and sign up. The website is justdogood.org. That'll take you to
Okay.
our homepage. They'll have pictures there, information about the Compton Initiative. But you can sign up. You can sign up as an individual, or you
Hmm.
can sign up as a group. So there's an option to do that. You register your group, give it a couple of weeks for us to update our website. But then your group name will be on there, and it doesn't matter if you have a group of 5 or if you
Right.
have a group of 50. Or more,
Yeah.
because Vintage Church is a big group.
We try to have
Mhm.
more.
Yeah, so that they really show up with a really really large group, which is great because we can get more work done. And we have those work days are 4 times a year, so it's quarterly. So it's in January, it's on the third Saturday,
Mhm.
April on the third Saturday, July, which we just passed, on the
Right.
third Saturday, and then October is the next one for the year 2024, and that'll be the last one for the year. And once you sign up, you'll receive an email from me. I'll give you instructions and everything like that. Everyone who does sign up under your group name, they'll receive a welcome email. And then as we get closer to the workday, I usually reach out to the group leader. If you have a big group, just discuss the upcoming workday, discuss the numbers, make sure everyone's getting signed up on the website to cover the waivers and liabilities.
Mm.
And then everyone receives a final confirmation email that has all of the detailed instructions on your specific site. Because obviously, when you got a few hundred volunteers,
Yeah.
I've got multiple sites all over the city of Compton. And so there's a lot of logistical work that goes into that.
Right.
But being detail oriented, and well organized, over communicating really helps us out on the workday from keeping it to just being
true.
absolute chaos.
Right. And you were saying Ms. Harris, she's one of the key figures involved too?
Yeah, definitely. So Miss Karen Harris is a program coordinator, but she's also a Compton resident,
Hmm.
and she's been in Compton for most of her life. She's originally from St. Louis, but I believe
Hmm.
she's lived in Compton, 30 or 40 years, so a really long time. And she's an African American female, old enough to be my mom, and but she's just so awesome. She's out there every day, almost, just like in the street, picking up trash, exemplifying what it looks like to be a bright light. What it looks like to be a Compton resident that cares enough to step outside of her home and clean her neighborhood, go beyond her neighborhood and clean up there, and encouraging others, hey, come and join me. That if we want to see the change, we have to be the change. It starts with us.
Right.
It doesn't start with when we have the right people in office,
Hmm.
when they make the right decisions, and when,
Yeah.
just always waiting on these outside sources, just like waiting for help. It's
Yeah.
like, no, we have everything we need
Right.
right here. It starts with love,
Mhm.
and loving our neighbor, loving our community. And so she's out there setting the example. So really, really grateful to have her on the team and everything that she does.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. And it's good to have somebody in the community because, like you were saying, in the schools, you hear from some of the students what they want from the community. Do you want to share a little on what you've heard so far from them?
Yeah. So, this up and coming generation, man, I love them.
Yeah.
It's totally different from, I grew up in early 90s. So, life was different back then.
Yeah.
It was just so different. And I thought that I didn't understand the Generation Z,
Yeah.
which I have a younger sister who's and I'm like, I just don't get you. And then here's this whole new generation of kids. But man, they're so creative and so awesome, and I guess looking back in hindsight, maybe I was still a little immature myself, and had some more to learn. But now, being a father, being an adult, working in ministry, and I look at these kids and I hear their ideas that they have for their future, and man, they're just so bright. They're so creative, and they're so intuitive too. And what I really see, and this is what I love the most, is that you know the majority of them, they don't want the old Compton reputation, and when I say that, and I always have to be careful, when I talk about Compton's reputation. For one, I'm not from there, and,
Right.
people let me know really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not from. I live there, and I'm married into a family that's been there for generations. But but so gang culture creates that division,
Right.
and says if you're not from here, or even if you're not from my street, then you're my enemy. Or I can't trust you. You're not one of us.
Yeah.
You're not like us. You hear that
Not
a
like
lot
us.
lately. Yeah, not like us. But but the ones who are saying that, those kids are not like you either. They have a different mindset.
Right.
They want to hang out with each other. They want to experience unity. They want to see a beautiful city, clean streets, proper management, and all those things. So they have it in them. I see such a bright future in these students for the city of Compton. So I think it's our role and our duty as adults to nurture that, to let their voices be heard, nurture that, and support them in that, because it's gonna be their future. It's gonna be their city. So.
And I think that's a really good mindset going into it, because I'm not from Compton either. So like, I'm here for you guys. It's not because I'm doing this for me, and I want to make sure that, like, I keep that in mind, like, whatever, and to be respectful of that. Like, I'm not from Compton. We're here for you, and making sure that whatever I'm doing is for you guys, and getting to know them too, what they really want. Because when I went to the Compton Initiative, I was thinking that too. Like, I want to make sure that I give the right energy, that it's uh, for, like, not for selfish means, to make myself feel better, because it does feel better, like, helping others. Because and it's 7 a.m. On Saturdays, right?
That doesn't feel as good, but
I think, because like, if you do it earlier, and I like it because it's 7 to like 11:30, and then you still got the rest of your Saturday to do whatever you want. But yeah, when I went last week, it was amazing. Like, I met a lot of people from Compton too, and they were welcoming. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said there were the upcoming events. That one in October, that's also for painting too?
Yeah, so I believe the exact date is October 19th. It's the third Saturday of October, and I don't have the specific sites right now. I've got a lot of sites lined up, and I've got some stuff in mind. I've got more than what I could ever get to probably in the next few years. A lot of project submissions. But as I receive these submissions, one thing that I definitely try to do is find those projects that are going to be most meaningful, most impactful, and also help us reach our goals as an organization too. I have to remember that too. So while I do take 100% consideration into the sentiments of the community and listening to their voices, I also understand that that our mission is meaningful and purposeful, and how can we accomplish our mission, and be able to give the community something that's going to be meaningful and that they appreciate and that they receive. It's not always easy. We've met opposition with things, even when we're out there doing good.
Really?
We've had guns pulled on us. We've had people come out very violently. Even to something as simple as an old lady, we paint her house, and then she decides she doesn't like the color after it's painted.
Yeah.
And so but we learn from each one of those situations, and when you're Holy Spirit led, I say this all the time, that the God kind of faith walks on water, balks at nothing. And for me, and for those who are heavily involved in this ministry, that's the attitude that we have to have moving forward, because we realize that that when we do face that opposition, that we recognize it for what it is, that it's spiritual warfare going on, that we're going in there and being bright lights, shining bright light, and
Yeah.
darkness doesn't like light, you
Yeah.
know. And so we're going in there with love and with grace and humility and kindness, and that's not always received well, and it could
Yeah.
just be because it's so foreign to a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people just haven't ever received it in their life. So and I was that way at one time too. If you were too nice, I'm like, nah, this is too good
Yeah.
to be true, or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
So I get it, and I
Mhm.
totally understand that. But we always move forward with grace and humility in it, and making the best decisions possible with these sites. So there may be houses, it may be a school that we're
Yeah.
painting. I know we do have a really big mural project coming up. It's going to be huge.
Right.
That's in preparation for a job fair
Wow.
and resource fair that we're going to be helping to host.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's lots of projects on the horizon. It's just all a
Mhm.
matter of getting them lined up, seeing what our volunteer numbers look like, and what's going to make for the most successful workday at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Because sometimes like the guard up, like sometimes I think like when I meet people like, oh, what's in it for you? Like when you're coming to our community, and I'm sure this is what they're thinking sometimes, that like, why are you being so nice? If you're constantly seeing people that might, have not your best interests in mind, um, and then having them to open up, I guess the schools is a good way to get in. Are there like other ways that you've noticed that would help you not get a gun pulled on you?
No, just and when those things happen, so for instance, again, with gang culture, that's there. Something that we try to be mindful of is just color.
Mm,
Like, so our t-shirts are yellow, and
yeah.
everyone sees it right off the bat. They're like, "Wait, man, you got these yellow shirts. Like, why'd you pick yellow?" Well, it's because yellow cannot be associated with any gang. I don't
Oh,
know if any. I don't know. Do you know anything? I
No.
don't know.
yeah.
I'm still doing cultural competency out here, so there's a lot that I don't know about the gang culture. But what I do know is that the big colors are like red and blue,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're so as much as possible, we don't want to contribute to that ideology, which would perpetuate the division and the animosity, and things like that. So so painting a park. We recently painted a park last year, where now they're hosting classes. They have summer programs for kids. They're getting all of new park equipment, and just really, really awesome and amazing to see what God is doing at this park and in this community. But the park was initially, for like 50 years, it was red. It was like red brick.
Mhm.
And we went in there, we painted it, like 250 gallons of paint. It was huge.
Yeah.
This is a huge project. Lots of man hours, lots of volunteers, heavy equipment rentals and everything. But we decided to paint it. It's almost like a gold color.
Hmm.
And initially that wasn't received well by the
Mhm.
community, because there's just such strong ties to that ideology. Like, hey, we have to keep it this color, but we knew we had to do something different. So I just stood on prayer, in the face of the opposition that was surrounding me,
Mhm.
and even the authorities that were brought on. I just humbled myself and stood in prayer. I believed in all my heart that I know I'm here to serve God. I know what God has called me to do. I'm not here to harm anyone. This is just about bringing love and peace.
Yeah.
And the building was consequently painted. And like I said, and now they're
Mhm.
having classes there. Children are playing there. Families are going there, and they feel safe.
Yeah.
And the community, for the most part, are happy with it.
Mhm.
So yeah, we just have to take do whatever we feel like is the next right thing to do, putting our best foot forward.
And how many coordinators are there in Compton Initiative?
So there's me as the director. There's Miss Karen Harris, who's she's a part-time co-coordinator,
Right.
and then there's another guy. I'm not sure if you met him. His name is Jacob Jones. He's
Mhm.
he's also a program coordinator, but he does all of our online social media stuff, and things like that. And that's it.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah,
They manage a lot with a few. It's pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just because I was thinking, like, with the amount of people that would come in, like 300 or so. And for me, like, if there's a huge organization, I have a guard up with huge organizations, and like with the government and everything. So then, like, making sure that the best interests are in mind, with like some good coordinators. It's I feel like having some good leadership would be really good to make sure those 300 people are on the right track.
You got it in Compton Initiative and Todd.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could see like a lot, like you've really kind of enveloped that, that lifestyle. All right then. Did you guys have any questions for me too? Well,
Who's your next speaker? Do you already
my
have the next
next
one lined up?
speaker. I have a couple people, some athletes, and then I'm pretty open. I have somebody who could be a realtor who might be interested in doing it. So I don't know yet. Actually, I'll have to see.
And have you thought of your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Oh man, I should have thought of this because I'm asking it. Um, I would say Matthew 7:12, to do to others what you would want to do to you. Um,
There you go.
yeah, that's
The
the
winning
first one.
lifestyle.
Yeah, the winning lifestyle. Well, thank you both very much for coming on. I do have some hoodies for you guys. I'll just bring them over real quick.
Oh yeah,
Actually, yeah.
awesome. Some cool merch.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Yeah,
told you.
man.
Yeah.
Already
Represent,
branded.
brother.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Actually.
Awesome.
All right.
Are we still recording?
Yeah. Would you want me to stop it?
No. It's fine.
gonna-
I was just gonna say, because I had been thinking about the title of this podcast, the winning lifestyle, and what we're talking about in serving and ministry and everything, and and so when I was praying about this on my ride over here, and something that has been so important to me, and I'm learning this every day, is just a healthy balance. So to anyone out there who's listening, and you really want to get involved, and that's so awesome. If you feel like you're being called to get involved and to love your community or love your neighbor or just volunteer in some shape, form, or fashion, that's awesome. Me personally, I'm a husband and I'm a dad. I've got 3 kids, got one on the way, and and working in this minute, man, life can get so crazy sometimes. I could feel so swamped, working late nights, weekends, and you name it. But I believe part of that winning lifestyle is just balance. Having a healthy balance, finding your balance in what works, and that may change. I think we go through seasons. You just have to adapt as things change, but finding that healthy balance, and even in my own life and with this ministry, and I live there in Compton, and I'm always doing it, but I found ways to incorporate it into my everyday life, and into what I do with my kids. So like the kids are out there serving with me, they're out there painting or cleaning the community or just attending meetings. My wife, she comes out, and serves food, greets people, maybe gets people signed up, so finding ways to incorporate serving and your normal everyday life, and then watch how that takes root, because next thing you know, like, you find yourself doing the things that you love to do, and they're all in service to other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
100%,
don't think you can get a better win than that. It's like, there's so much to gain from just serving others. It's nothing monetary, it's nothing physical. It's just at the end of the day, it's like, wow, I contributed to something bigger than myself.
Yeah. I completely agree, like with the monetary, because like everybody's always asking me, oh, like with this podcast, are you like trying to make money, or like what are you trying to do? So like I bought a bunch of the stuff that I need. I made sure I did it the right way. But like I just do this for fun, and hopefully I can learn something from the people I bring on. And yeah, like I haven't really got a plan yet for my podcast. So far, like I do have hoodies, but I'm not like actively trying to sell them. In fact, I've given them a couple away, and for all my guests, I want to give them away too. But yeah, in fact, I think I've lost or not lost, but I've spent a good amount of money. So doing it for the right reasons, yeah.
On that, C.S. Lewis has another quote that I really like. That's like, if you reach for heaven, you get some of heaven and some of earth. And if you just go for earth, you're just going to get earth. And I think it's kind of another way of saying, like, why are you doing what you're doing? And if you are striving for heaven, if you're striving for the best transformational projects in Compton, you're probably going to get some that are just golden and start to transform, but you're probably going to get a bunch of earth stuff too, because that's where we're living.
Right.
But I think like with your podcast, like always aligning with, as long as I'm striving for that heaven, that goal of like, why am I here? Who am I serving? Who am I glorifying? Then it's going to be a good path, and there will be mistakes along the way, but you'll get some heaven out of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah, you guys have been amazing. And let me go grab you guys your hoodies.
Great.
Then.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Guess we can pause it right here.